Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Today I'm going to be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Warner Brothers 100 Years Celebration Batman Movie 6-pack. God, that's a mouthful, but we're used to that at this point from the DC Multiverse line. For whatever reason, they just keep adding more and more words every time. But this set is so crazy. I actually missed out on it on the McFarlane site, unfortunately, but I actually got this from Figurine for All, so if you guys haven't checked them out, you absolutely should. That's where I got that Supergirl way back when, before it was even announced or anything. And this set, getting this in hand and like just the whole presentation of the box and the bat signal and all of them just looking so beautiful inside that box, and then all together like this, it's so satisfying. Growing literally throughout my entire life of going through like every iteration of Batman, and it's really cool to see that all immortalized in one package and then all on a shelf together, you know, like in this display like this. And it's really cool seeing how far the bat suits have come as well, you know, with its ups and its nipples. But this is such a cool set. And so without further ado, let's just, you know, take a look at what they come with. And obviously you can see they're on base stands right now. It's just easier to do it that way. They all come with base stands. That's like they're all together, like 6 of them in the package. They come with their trading cards, of course, obviously. And then they also come with the bat signal, which, as you can see right here, which is so cool. I currently have Robert Pattinson's one in here because I have the Mezco one, which is basically just the comic book version of it, which will work perfectly with Keaton, Clooney, and Kilmer. And when it comes to, which also, what's up with all the k sounds for the first 3 Batman? That was kind of weird. But it comes with Robert Pattinson's, Ben Affleck's, Bale's, and then a comic book looking one, which is supposed to be for Clooney, Keaton, and Kilmer. And it's actually really easy to switch out too. Like here, if I just show you real fast over here on the side, you just kind of gotta pry at it on the right sides. I don't know if there's like a special way you're supposed to do it. I don't know if I actually want to do this on camera. I don't want it to break or anything. But it's a really cool concept of just taking it off and just sliding that other piece on there. It's not that big of a deal. And then unfortunately, I don't have any batteries in it right now. I don't have any of the kind that I need. But it does light up. And I imagine it's going to light up fairly decent. I don't know if it's going to light up as well as the Mezco one because it only has one light in it versus a bunch of them. And then the only thing that I do see being kind of an issue is having the Robert Pattinson one on here. That's supposed to be yellow, and I'm pretty sure it's a white light. I'm pretty sure on that. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. But who knows? Maybe you could like take it out and switch out the light or something. Who knows? But other than that, that's all they come with. They don't come with any accessories of any kind, which is not a big deal. It's not something that bothers me. And as a result of them not coming with any accessories, they all have fists except for Ben Affleck. I don't know why he's the only one that doesn't, but I love that we got the 2 fists for all the Batmen. And before we actually get into the 3 new figures, let's go over the 3 sort of reissues / slightly modified, you know, to be new and all that stuff. Like, they have a couple of new things, I think, on each one here and there, deco-wise or piece-wise. So if we bring in Bale real fast, he actually is just a little bit, like, his grays are a lot brighter on this, in the sense of you can tell the difference between, like, there's different sheens for the different pieces of his suit, which is really cool. And you also get, like, the silver on his gauntlets, too, which is really nice. I like that. Unfortunately, this is all I have in terms of what's left of my other Batman. But you can see what I'm saying. Like, they upgraded the paint on this a lot better because, like, you can tell, like, on this, you look at it and it's like, oh, you can kind of see the bat signal in there, but not really. You can really see it on this one. But other than that, the only thing that's new is the cloth cape, which they all have cloth capes, which is really cool. Those will be definitely easier to take off and then install wired capes. So that'll be really cool. And now taking a look at Ben Affleck, the only thing that's different from him is I think the only new pieces that he has, I think the head might be new. Either the head's new or it's just that one that was like really hard to find. But it's nice to have the one that doesn't have the goggles. I really appreciate that he doesn't have the goggles. And then he has the new collar piece, or the new cowl piece, which, you know, so they could install the cloth cape. So actually taking this off and putting on a wired cape is going to be so much easier than the old ones, which is something I personally am very excited about. Other than that, though, I wish they would have given him an updated paint job. They didn't. He still is completely inaccurate, but, you know, it is what it is. I just hope that we get a BVS wave at some point. You know, I think we will. And I really, more and more every day we get closer to having, I feel like, a BVS wave. Just because of the fact we're getting a freaking George Clooney wave. Like, we're getting, which is just insane. With the fact that we're getting that, we better get a Batman versus Superman wave. Like, make Doomsday the Build-A-Figure, have it be Batman in his suit, you know, his, like, the BVS suit, the armored suit, Superman, and then Wonder Woman. And then the Build-A-Figure be Doomsday. That would be perfect. And then as for Robbat Bat, he's got his 2 fist hands. His arms are still super long. I may futz around with this, but we'll see. I don't know. And then they did give him actually a, like, wash to his armor plates and stuff. Or to his, like, undersuit armor and whatnot. There's, like, if you can really see it, it's very prevalent on the thighs. But I wish they would have given him, you know, like, the grapple. That would have been cool. The only new piece on him, I'm pretty sure his fists are not new. The only new piece, because they gave him the cloth cape, is this cowl piece, which is so much more convenient. This will be so easy to put a wired cape on now. All you have to do is just heat it up and pop it and all that stuff, and it'll be perfect. But now let's take a look at the 3 new Batman, now that we've gotten the reissues out of the way. And technically speaking, the only reason I'm going to count this Michael Keaton Batman as a new one is because, well, most people who ordered the Batmobile aren't getting it. But this is what that figure is supposed to be. So this is supposed to be the 1989 Batman, and you can already see the one glaring problem with this figure, and that it's, I don't know how to, for people that don't get it, I feel like it's going to be weird to hear it. He has neck articulation, and that's just wrong. You know, I'd love to be able to get a Mezco head, like to just take that head and cowl piece and try and put it on this body. I think that would be really cool, but obviously it's very hard to come by that Mezco one. So what I actually did was, before starting this review, I brought in the old Batman, you know, aka Michael Keaton from the Flash movie, and the heads actually swap pretty decent. Like, if you look, for whatever reason, his head's just a little too big. I think they added just a little bit. This one also doesn't really look as much like Keaton as this one does. Maybe it's just my mental image of Keaton now, because I'm so used to seeing him how he looks now in present day as opposed to 1989. But although I've seen, you know, the movie so many times, I don't know, whatever. But I love this. Seeing these two together and seeing, like, the evolution of his suits is really cool. My light died, but taking a look at Kilmer real fast, this one, he is the only one that's, like, so different from the others because he's blue. He's, like, a very metallic midnight blue. And he's got the gold for the, like, logo on his belt. This just looks great. I mean, like, this looks just like Val Kilmer. I mean, look at that face. Looks so good. Looks great. The detail on him. He's got the same, I'm pretty sure I think the forearms they share. Maybe. No? No. The forearms between Clooney and Kilmer, they do not share, but I think the hands do. They just have the same kind of, like, fin pieces down here. So I was thinking maybe maybe the arms and the biceps. There's some shared pieces between Kilmer and Clooney, but not, like, a lot. But they both look great. I mean, like, let's bring in Clooney, who was my personal star of this one, because I love those movies. Like, they're so bad, but I love his movie and I love Kilmer, his movie. Like, they are just both so great in, like, the worst way, you know what I mean? I need to go back and watch them again, especially after getting this pack, just because conceptually, George Clooney as Batman, like, could have been the best casting ever, like, seriously, and it obviously fell flat. Imagine George Clooney, like, properly, like, them letting him be, like, them actually letting him act, and had, like, a good script for him and a good suit that didn't have nipples. George Clooney would have probably been the best Batman. That I know is, like, a hot take, but, like, seriously, if you watch his other work and all that stuff, and just George Clooney, like, seeing that man in a suit, you know, and, like, his little bit of longer hair, not the shaved head that he had as Batman for whatever reason, he just oozes, like, Bruce Wayne and Batman simultaneously. And just, if everything in the multiverse had been, like, aligned properly, could have just been the definitive best Batman for sure. But this figure is great. Obviously, he's got the nipples, you know, because it's the Batman and Robin suit. He's got the nipples. He's got the bat logos on his boots, which is really cool. You know, like, it's very It's very campy, very, very specific, and it looks just like Clooney. Like, all the head sculpts in this look so great, except for Keaton. I don't know why Keaton doesn't look best. But, like I said, if you switch out the head sculpt from the older Batman from the Flash movie, it definitely works. Now let's go over the articulation, and we're just going to go over the articulation of the 3 new ones, because the old ones, you can obviously go find videos for those. And what's kind of crazy is that the more that I've sat with these, the more I've looked at them, the 3 new ones share probably the, like, inside, you know, little circular joints, like the little cup things, but they share shoulders and biceps. I don't think, and then obviously Clooney and Kilmer share fists. I don't know if, oh yeah, actually, Keaton also shares fists with them. So I think other than that, I'm pretty sure that they're like all individual sculpts. Don't hold me to that though, because there's probably something that I'm missing. But it is cool that there's a little bit of reuse between the 3 of them, because I mean, universe-wise, they're supposed to all be the same, but now after the Flash movie, they're like definitively not the same, but they were definitively not the same before to all of us. You know what I mean? Let's take a look at Clooney first. His head can go up pretty much all the way, which is super awesome. I love that. Can go down decent amount, pretty much all the way. Tilt, rotation, all that stuff. His shoulders go out that far. Rotate, you know, lay around. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that go up all the way. Standard McFarlane joints at the wrists. As for his torso, 0 modification, and it can go that far forward. Like, that's really good for just a base version of it. I mean, like, if you added a tiny bit into the lower torso, you could get a lot more out of that. But it still looks really good. As for his legs, they can go out that far, no problem. You know, forward, back, all that good stuff. It's got no real swivel at the hip joint in there, but his knees are double jointed. Go back that far. And then, of course, the standard joints at the ankles for McFarlane stuff, and, of course, toe pivot. As for Kilmer, his head can go up that far. You can get, like, that iconic shot of him like that. Go down all the way. Rotate. Shoulders, go out that far. Rotate all the way around. Double jointed elbows. Torso goes that far forward, which is really good. As for his legs, they kind of jut out a little bit. So that's kind of a bummer, but they go out pretty far. His like rubber crotch piece is a little bit harder than Clooney's for whatever reason. And then, you know, the standard like double jointed knees and all that kind of stuff. Like there's really 0 difference when it comes to the articulation on these guys. Just some slight range differences, but the legs go back as far. And as for Keaton, his head goes not that far up. Can go that far down, rotate, all that stuff. I wish there was 0 range. I mean, which is so weird to say, but I wish there was 0 range. I wish it was all one piece. His shoulders, same as the other 2, because it's the same shoulders, go out that far, rotate all the way around. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, go up all the way. As for his torso, it doesn't really go that far forward, which is super unfortunate, especially because he's supposed to be with the Batmobile, so I don't know why he doesn't have as much range. And then as for his legs, his also jut out to the side when they go forward. I don't know why they don't have the, you know, like same level of great articulation as Clooney, but it's a really big bummer, but it's okay. Knees go back that far, which is not as good as Clooney either. I don't know why. Clooney really is like, I'm pretty much going to give my overall thoughts here, because like as you can see pretty much like scale wise how they all look together, so you pretty much know what you're getting. So overall, I mean, like, as I said, I was the most excited for Clooney, and he really is like my standout figure from the wave. I think Keaton, if he had had the same level of range in his base form as Clooney, I think it would have been fine, or even as the Flash movie version of him. But that one's just a little disappointing for me. They're all worthy upgrades, I think, of the originals, and then obviously we have the 3 new ones. And they're all great. I love having them. I love the presentation of the box. I love the bat signal. All of it is just, it's so cool. Like, whether you want to get it and take them out, or if you want to just leave them, you know, like the box open spread and show everything like that, it's still a beautiful addition to your collection. So yeah, that's going to do it for me, and I will catch you all in the next one. See ya.